Hello students, since your February long exam is approaching, I will discuss the first topic that is included for your upcoming exam. First topic is we have determining the vertex of a parabola. So, familiar naman ta, diba? And we already know what is a parabola. What is the vertex? From our previous exam, of course. So now we will now proceed directly to the steps. How will we determine the vertex of a parabola given a quadratic equation? So, steps first is we have to write the given equation in standard form. And the standard form, remember, we have y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Because from this standard form of the quadratic equation, we can determine the values of a, b, and c. Remember to determine the values of a. This a is the coefficient of the variable with an exponent of 2. B is the coefficient rather of the variable x. X or any variable with an imaginary power of 1. And C is for the last term, the constant, a term without a variable. Second step, can you values of A? This following values, the A, B, and C, we will use this to substitute the equation or the formula x is equal to negative b over 2a. Because through this equation, we can identify or solve for the value of our x coordinate of the vertex. Remember class, in writing the coordinates, say for example, a point 2, negative 3, 2, negative 3, remember class that you cannot interchange the x and y coordinate na. Kung magsuwat tag point, always remember nga mag-una dyan na si x coordinate followed by y coordinate. You cannot interchange the two coordinates in a particular point nga imuhang gi-refer, okay? So, x coordinate is this first coordinate nga gisuwat nimo as your point. Now, after nimo makita ang x coordinate, gamito nimo ang value sa x coordinate to substitute sa given equation naka standard form to solve, of course, for the y coordinate. Aron kama naka og 1 point na naka 1 point na x coordinate and y coordinate. Okay, let us have an example para mas klaro. Number 1, we have f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x. First thing you have to check is if a given equation is naka-standard form ba. So, looking at this equation, yes, obviously, naka-standard form na siya. Aside from memorizing this form of the quadratic equation class para makaibaw ka naka-standard form na siya, always remember nga ang first term dapat nimo nga nasa right side of the equation is ang naay highest power of the variable, which is of course 2 since we are talking about the quadratic. So power of 2 dyan ang highest degree, no? And for the next term followed by the power of imaginary 1 sa variable. Kay decreasing, always remember nga, the proper writing of any equation is decreasing ang iyahang exponent of the variable. Exponent or the power or degree ba karon of the variable. So from here, first term power of 2 followed by the exponent or power of imaginary 1 mo second term nimo, and the last term no other than a term without a variable, meaning to say 0 na 0. So mo nang ang value na lang itself ang imuhang masuwat for the last term. So, for number 1, of course, obviously, naka-standard form na siya. X squared plus 2x. So, since naka-standard form naman siya daan, we will directly proceed in identifying the values of A, B, and C. So, for A, B, C. So, let us check one by one. For the value of A, as I said earlier, the value of A is the coefficient of the variable with a power of 2. Variable na to nga given ani sa number 1 is x, ha? So, ang x, kanang na power of 2, ang iyang tapad, mo na siya ay value sa coefficient nimo of your variable x squared. So, well, since we are referring to a coefficient, that means value ra na siya mismo. You will not include the variable, okay? Unless we are talking or referring to a term, whole term of the equation, single term, so mo nang apilo ni mo mention ang variable. But since we are talking only about the values of A, B, and C, remember nga they are real numbers, so only the coefficient. So, x squared, ang tapad niya, ma'am, wala siya tapad niya makita na to. So, that is actually an imaginary 1. So, we will write 1. That is positive. Ha? Positive na siya. Positive 1. Kaya wala man tayo negative sign nga makita. So, automatically, that is positive. Positive 1. Proceed to the value of b. The value of b is the coefficient of the variable with an imaginary exponent of 1. This one. 2x. X with an imaginary power of 1. Imaginary. So, the coefficient is 2. Mo siya iyang value. And please take note that you have to check the sign. Kay naaman tay sign dire kay second term naman na siya. So, na siya naka-indicate ugon sa iyang sign. So, apilo ni mo ni tanaw. Since positive sign man siya, so just write 2. No, dili kay mo largo ka og 2. You have to check nga sa iyang sign. Kay single term man ni sila, one term. Next, for the value of C, wala naman siya laing term. Since identify na nato tanan for A, B, and C, wala na tayo kakuhaan, wala na tayo makita because for the given equation, there are only 2 terms. So, therefore, C is equal to 0. Now, naman determine the values of A, B, and C, proceed to the second step, which is we have to find the x-coordinate using this formula. So, we will copy the formula or the equation. X is equal to negative b over 2a. Now, we will substitute the values nga ito ang na-determine from the given equation. So, x is equal to negative. Ang negative sign na to is from the equation pa na mismo or formula. So, dapat ito nang isuwat. Ay, sa pa ka magpuli sa variable nga b. Isa man si b. Tanawon ni mo dire, b is positive 2. So, write 2. Next, for the denominator, 2, that is a fixed value given as from the formula. So, write 2. Na siya a nga tapad. Since mag-substitute mo to for the value of a from the given, ato asya mutangan og parenthesis aron dili masumpay. Kung dili na ni siya butangag parenthesis, mahiwan ang 21. Okay? So, importante ang pagbutang og parenthesis since nag-indicate na siya og multiplication. So, for the value of a, that is positive 1. So, isuot po ni positive 1. Ato ang i-substitute. Now, we will simplify. X is equal to, arita sa numerator una. Numerator ta una. We have negative 2. So, negative 2. Ato asang unahon ang denominator. Since na siya parenthesis na makita nato, that means na may tabang ang multiplication. So, ato sa nang unahon i-multiply. So, 2 multiplied to 1. The product is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So, nanatay negative 2 over 2. So, ato siyang i-divide. Since ma-divide siya, makahatag siyang answer nga whole number, right? Okay, since naatay negative sign na nga na-involve, dividing the term or integers, atong unahon ng sign, step by step para maklaro. So we have the numerator is negative divided by the denominator nga positive. So negative divided by positive. Mag-multiply o mag-divide o different sign. The answer is always negative sign. So, manaman ka sa resulting sign that is negative, proceed ka sa number, the value. We have 2 divided by 2. Pila man na siya? That is 1. So, akong suwat nun og balik, x is equal to negative 1. That is your x coordinate, negative 1. Next, since manatapag pangita sa x coordinate, from step 2, we will now proceed to step 3. We will solve for the y-coordinate. Nasa kahiyang pares sa negative 1. So, to solve for the y-coordinate, atong gamito ni nakita na to nga negative 1. I-substitute na to sa given equation nga naka-standard form. So, atong isuwat. Ang standard form na to nga equation gihatag is we have f of x is equal to x squared plus 2x. We will substitute x as negative 1. So, atong substitute, we have f of negative 1 is equal to x. Ato ani siyang pulihan og negative 1. Negative 1 to the power of 2 plus 2. Next is x, iyang tapad. So, atong butang parenthesis. X, pulihan na to og negative 1. Now, we will simplify the equation is equal to negative 1 to the power of 2. Atong isa-isahon, that is actually negative times negative, positive. 1 times 1, kay times itself man na siya, that is 1. Next, for the next term na siya, 2 values nga to ang i-multiply. And please take note sa sign. Sa isa ka value, ang sign is positive. 2, ang second value na to nga 1 is negative. So, positive times negative, multiplying different sign, the answer or the resulting sign is always negative. Again, positive times negative is negative. Proceed to the value. 2 times 1 is 2. Now, there are only 2 remaining terms nga nabilin. Simplify na na. Now, we can combine the integers nga na resulta. We have 1 minus 2. Remember the rule in combining integers. In combining integers, you have to check the sign of the integers nga mo i-combine. So, since si 1 is positive, si 2 is negative, dili sila parehag sign. That means mag-subtract ta. 2 minus 1, that is 1. Now, how about the sign? We will follow the sign of the greater value between 1 and 2. The greater value or the larger value is 2. And yang sign is negative, so we will follow the negative sign. So, we have f at negative 1 is negative 1. Or that is also equal to y is equal to negative 1. So, nanata x coordinate, y coordinate. So, ang masuwat na nato in coordinates form, we have negative 1, negative 1. Muna na imuhang vertex. Nakapangita na ka sa iyahang vertex of the given function x squared plus 2x.